All right, looks like we are now joined by Denny Hamlin. Denny is locked into the round of 8, as I said, by virtue of his win at Talladega last week. Denny, we actually have a bunch of questions queued up, so we're going to go straight to questions for you.
Okay.
We will start with, I think, Randy Kovitz. Did you have a question from the KC Star? Actually, it looks like he may have dropped out. We'll go to Bob Pockrass.
Yeah, Denny, first, are you prepared to race in the same conditions Xfinity did yesterday, or do you think NASCAR will be a little bit more, change their philosophy at all today?
I think that they'll monitor track conditions. We got a long message from them last night after the Xfinity race and about some things that they would change or do different. So, no one's prepared to run in puddles on the racetrack. So I think, they'll monitor that and make sure that it's, legit driving conditions.
And with you and Harvick so close and with playoff points, how much do you think you'll need a win in the next round?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that we'll need to, but we certainly are going to need to run really well. So, I don't know. I think we'll just kind of play it by ear after the first race. I think after the first race, we'll have probably a better idea because it's probably a little easier to, predict the guys that will be, your winners or point guys after that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we're going to go to Randy Kovitz with the KC Star.
Yeah, hey, Denny, thanks for doing this. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Speaking of Kansas, you can go where no man's gone before. You could win 3 in a row, and you could win a 4th there. What is it about Kansas that's worked so well for you, and is there a better place to start the round of 8 than Kansas for you?
Well, I've got a good setup. I mean, that's all I can equate to it because, in years past, Kansas has not always been a strong suit. Mile and a halfs in general haven't been a super strong suit for most of my career. I mean, I don't know. You could argue the statistics and wins would say otherwise, but it seems like on the mile and a half, we got a really good package or setup going that seems to be working. We nearly won Vegas, and that was a track I was, if we could finish in the top 15, I was going to be happy. So I adjust my expectations based off of how I feel after the first 10 laps of each race. So I'm confident. I think that we got a good grasp on Kansas. Nothing really much has changed other than the tire, which that tire was run at Vegas. So it looks like we've kind of accounted for it pretty good in our setup. So I'm as optimistic as anyone should be going into that racetrack.
Next, we're going to go to Jordan Bianchi.
Danny, kind of following up on Bob's question a little bit, what is the point for you where you would like to see maybe NASCAR step in if it is raining like it was yesterday and the conditions are like that you would say, you know what, we need to stop this?
Yeah, they did once yesterday. The issues were when the caution would fall and the cars would stop going around the racetrack and the rain would pick up, the track would form puddles in certain spots. I mean, big puddles. So again, I mentioned on social media last night, this is not a purpose-built road course. The drainage is not made for it. We tried to spice up the Charlotte Oval by making us go through the infield and through parking lots, but this was a tough place given the conditions. You're going to need just very slight rain for us to be able to run, I think, without just it being a complete shit show.
Would you like to see NASCAR wait, maybe postpone race until tomorrow?
It's not up to me, but I mentioned to them that people's seasons are on the line. Obviously, good and bad. Ours isn't, but I could not imagine being, having to either protect points or gain points in crazy conditions such as what we've had. And you can argue, hey, it's the same for everyone, but you can't. How are we supposed to predict, a puddle or a stream running across the racetrack? That's just kind of, you add a jump to the backstretch and it would be complete.
Last question for me, and can you kind of answer it a little bit, is how happy are you that you don't have to worry about today points or anything like that? You're moving on regardless.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly had the tone to be able to send the first 3 rows into the heartburn turn right off the bat by starting on the pole. So I don't know. I mean, it's going to be the blind leading the blind. I'm sure there's going to be some guys that are going to be pretty aggressive early on, but I don't know that I'll particularly be one of them. But I am very, very happy and very blessed to not have to worry about finishing first or last today.
Next, we'll go to Kelly Crandall.
Denny, I actually wanted to ask about David Wilson. He had some nice words to say about how the relationship between the two of you has grown and changed over the years. So just from your perspective, can you talk about just how that has changed from your end, how your relationship has changed, how you've maybe come to know him better and just talk to him and engage with him over the years?
Yeah, I mean, he's, Toyota itself and TRD is a very hands-on manufacturer. As they like to say, they're not check writers. They like to be integrated in teams. They like to be partners with their race teams. And, I kind of knew Dave just simply through the JGR relationship on the competition side. So I really didn't have a strong I knew David, talked to David quite a bit, but never really grew that partnership until we started talking about this race team. And from that point on, I mean, I guess he's probably one of my favorites in my phone at this point. So we've grown that. We understand each other's vision. And I think that certainly it's been a partnership that has grown very quickly in a very short amount of time. So I'm very happy to form that relationship with him and hopefully expand upon their future in NASCAR.
Next, we're going to go to David Smith.
Hey, Denny. Next weekend, you are returning to a 550 track. Can you please describe the difference that you feel when attempting to pass for position on an intermediate track compared to the previous rule package?
I mean, it's easier and it's harder. It just kind of depends. I think it allows you to protect more as the leader. However, the runs come, even if the car behind you is slower, with the draft, especially on restarts, it's actually easier to pass. So I think if the net gain or loss is about the same through high downforce or low downforce, if, at some of these racetracks, I think that if you slowed us up just 5 miles per hour more, you would have even more drafting, more slingshot passes, things like that. So the package is just perfect at some places, needs tweaking a little bit at others, but I think, these teams and manufacturers want to keep things a little bit more simple when it comes to rule packages. I know Goodyear's trying to keep more things simple on the tire side, reducing decodes and whatnot. So it's really helping with costs. But I think that, I don't know that, going back to a low downforce package on the 550s is necessarily the right thing. I think that we've all adapted, and, passing while difficult, it was difficult before. So we've all adapted.
Next, we'll go to Casey Campbell.
Thanks, Steph. Hey, Denny, how are you?
Good.
Apologize if this question has been asked. I kind of joined late, but hydroplaning on the Roval, we kind of saw it yesterday and in the Xfinity race. Do you think that may be an issue today? And have you ever done it before in a race car? And if you can remember.
Not that I know of. The only time I remember ever hydroplaning in a race car would be at my local short track when we don't have jet dryers. We drag tires around the racetrack to get it hot and get it dried up. We would all go out there in our race cars to help dry the racetrack, and just, streams of water be running across the track, and you hit them and everything just kind of takes off. But it's, a much smaller stream than what we were seeing yesterday. So that was, more of a weather issue last night or yesterday that I saw. A lot of the runoffs were, it was running from a much higher point, but it was running across the Roval in different spots. And so very, very difficult. I can't imagine, but I will here in just a few hours.
All right. Thanks, Danny.
Mhm.
All right, did we have any final questions for Denny? We'll go to Greg Engel to wrap it up.
Hi, Denny. I joined late, so I'm not going to try and tell you if this question hasn't been asked. But as a team owner, as a new team owner going into next year, Steve O'Donnell recently said you're not doing the driver council meetings anymore. Do you think that's an okay idea? Would you rather have some kind of drivers council? Do you think that communication you have with NASCAR behind the scenes, so to speak, so we're not hearing about it, do you think it's good enough? Do you think it could be improved? And how does the team owner, so to speak, mindset change all that?
I can see it both ways. I mean, it used to be those meetings were held annually, then semi-annually, then it was quarterly. And now they have more of a direct contact with us through group me or whatever. I mean, the dialogue is open each and every day, where the drivers give input, the NASCAR gives input and changes as well. So it's actually quicker now than ever. So, I mean, I know that for instance, the big change for the Kansas, Texas, and Las Vegas tire, all the drivers hated it. It was just an awful tire. The sidewall was way too stiff. It was just not good. That feedback was given to them right away, and they made that change. That's something that would have happened. It would have had it happen in the next quarter meeting. Well, they got that feedback instantly. We're able to go to Goodyear, get another tire made, and implement it before the season was over. So normally that tire wouldn't be implemented till next year. So I think that if anything, it's not totally necessary. I think they're doing a good job of it. The big major hitters, the marketing side of things, the social side of things, they'll still have those meetings, I'm sure, next year once the COVID stuff settles down. But as far as the competition side, I think they got a good grasp on it right now.
Thanks, Denny. I appreciate it. Have fun today, pal.
Yep.
All right, Denny. Well, thanks for joining us. Good luck this afternoon, and then also when the round of 8 starts in Kansas next week.
All right. Thank you.